Hello, everyone. Welcome to podcast 442. Today is a bit special episodes. First of all, it's in English. Secondly, I'm alone without Mario. And third reason is that we have a special guest. He will introduce himself briefly, but we'll talk to Maksims Krivunecs from Latvian Virsliga, I think the manager, the leader of Virsliga, if I'm not mistaken. Maksim, hi.
Hello, guys. Thank you for having me. It's nice to talk to you about football. It's a pleasure. And yeah, you even were correct. I'm the president of Latvian Football Virsliga, but since last January, I'm also working in the Football Federation, helping our FA with the commercial assets in the Football Federation, and also holding a position within the European leagues. I'm a board member of the European leagues as well as UEFA delegate. So I have like four positions in football right now.
Right. So as you can understand, we have a really important guest here. Maksim, I know you can talk like a million hours of what you are doing, but let's ask for the beginning. I would like to ask you, how do you as a person, how do you see Estonian football? Just out of curiosity.
Well, for me, I would say I have a subjective view because I don't have data. I like to make my opinions and my decisions on data-driven. But the feeling is that Estonian football is in a pretty good shape. Of course, as a small country, the same as Latvia and Lithuania, we have a lot of work to do for the future. But what I know for sure that I like personally in Estonian football is the production level. That is what I'm following the most from Estonian competition. So I believe it's a nice competition, but the same problems as in every country: competitive balance, how to make the competition stronger. So because the competition around is very hard, and a lot of investment coming to football, to the game, and we are a little bit lagging behind together. So, but in general, I have a pretty good feeling. I don't know much about Estonian football, but like last year, I've been a delegate at Flora game against Hibernians. And I must admit that I really enjoyed the structure of the club. I saw particularly how this club is working from the inside. I must admit, I was pretty surprised that this is, you're gonna say, like a team. It's a real club with a structure, a lot of people engaged in organizing the game, managing the team. I had a pretty good feeling about it.
You said that you like the level of production. What do you mean by that?
Let's say we have in Latvia very limited production capabilities for the games. We don't have big competition on the market. There are only, like, let's say, maximum 2 companies that can produce the games quality, the good quality of the games. And what I see from outside, let's say, I like in the Estonian competition, how the games are produced, the quality, the filming, these kind of things.
Okay, so broadcast. By production, I mean broadcast, right?
Yes. As a product, as a... So, sorry, do you hear me?
Yeah, you were disappearing again. That might happen, but don't worry. Okay, let's maybe move towards Latvian Virsliga, which you are managing and which is the most interesting here for us. And the first question is actually something which is different in Latvia than in Estonia. You are like leading only the Liga, right? And there's football union leader is separate. Why is it like better, and why is this not better? I don't know. I just out of curiosity want to know the difference.
You mean like a separate entity that we are as a league?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, in every system there are like advantages and disadvantages, but I believe if the league can finance itself, so it might work as an independent organization and promote professional football, because Football Federation has a lot of responsibilities on the grassroots level in different football divisions like futsal, like a women competition, national teams, and so on. So if you want to create a product from out of your league, it's better to be separated. It's better because it's easier for making a product, for communicating with the sponsors, to describe what you have. So I'm coming to the sponsor, for example, and saying, like, we are an organization, we're dealing with the professional football in Latvia. We have like 10 teams, we have this production, we are this marketing budget, and so I'm speaking solely about the league. When I joined the federation, I had this problem because it was very, very difficult to divide what kind of assets football federation has, who is responsible for managing these assets. So as I see today, in our team, we have a manager that takes care of many competitions, of many assets, and I believe it's very difficult to get a quality out of this system. So what I'm changing right now also in the football federation, I'm taking appointing account manager for every league. So we're having like a director for every league, and this director, or like a manager, he is supported by communications department, by marketing department, and that's is something in between like a separate entity and the full federation management of the competitions. So I believe that if the league can finance itself, for example, Virsliga, when we started in 2018, I and my team joined the league. We had 2 revenue sources, but by developing a strategy and going to the market and offering our products, like data, streaming, broadcasting, we diversified our revenue streams. Now we are financially stable organization. We tripled the budget. We have 6 revenue sources right now for the league, and we're going to have like 5 times more budget in 2 years as it was previously. So now we are able to plan our work. We signed the contract with the FA for the next 5 years because they see the results of the league, and everybody's happy. So I don't see why it should be different if everybody see the value from growing. For me, it's difficult to say that it's better for, let's say, for Estonian football, it's better to be outside or it's better to be inside. It's a difficult question. You need to make analysis out of every project. So, but for us, definitely being as a separate entity, being as a platform where clubs can express their opinion, to meet together, to discuss some things on development, on regulations, or any other stuff we discuss, we put everything on paper, and then centrally I go to the football federation and discuss these things with the football federation. Then we make the decision, or we discuss what we can improve and how to move on.
Well, first of all, what are those 6 revenue sources which Virsliga is having right now?
So as it was previously, it was a general sponsor, and it was selling streaming rights, so for the internet, for the betting companies. So now we have these 2 revenue sources. We have scouting. So we sell our content to scouting companies, to stats, so like Y-Scout or Instat and others. We have international broadcasting rights. We sold Virsliga broadcasting to 2 platforms, One Football and 11. Those are top 5 biggest platforms in the world for showing football. So now Virsliga is available in 200 plus countries around the world. So actually, in every FIFA country where you go, you can see Virsliga online on these platforms for free. Then we have data rights. So we sell the data rights for it's called fast betting data or live data. So when people come to the stands, they get the data. We then also we buy this data from other suppliers, for example, like live protocols, if we want to implement our. But now we have everything in house, so we even don't buy. We just sell this data to 3 companies right now. But starting from the next season, we signed an exclusive deal, a very big one, with international, one of the biggest actually companies that are dealing with these kind of assets till 2027. Sorry. So, and of course, we have also a small donation from the Football Federation. Actually, I lied. There were three revenue sources, because Football Federation at that time was also supporting, but now supporting even in a bigger amount, because at that time league was paying for the referees, and now Federation covered the cost of the referees. So these kind of 6 revenue sources we're having right now, and as I told you, feeling quite financially stable.
Okay, understood. That's nice. Probably that's the biggest advantage of being independent units. You try to create some revenues yourself, right? Not being dependent on football union. I think that's the biggest advantage of that. But I have another question. You said that you are communicating with clubs and deciding different questions among clubs, and then you go to football union. So is it like technically possible that you alone, like you or in the management of Virsliga, decide something without clubs? Is it possible?
No, we decide only on operational and the business side. So my job is to attract, let's say, to increase the revenues for the league, that then reinvested in the fan engagement and games production quality and other stuff. All regulatory or like any other question on league competition format, on foreign players statuses, all these stuff, or even calendar. So we decide together. So all these things, and it's written in our statutes, and I'm only dealing with the business side. So our meeting, like a general meeting together with the clubs, is the most like a powerful instrument in the league, where we discuss, and with the majority, sometimes we have the questions where like 6 clubs are for and 4 clubs against something, right? So then we try to invent such a system where maximum clubs will be 4. Like we have like a 8-2 is the best thing. Of course, the best one is the 10, all 10, and we have lately, or almost all decisions, we have like 10 votes unity in the league, which is a really nice thing to do, because it allows us to move forward really fast, and it helps us a lot. So, but for example, we had the situation with the foreign players, where big clubs wanted to play with more foreign players to compete in the UEFA club competitions, to get these revenues, and to, for them it's interesting to be there. And some clubs, of course, smaller one, were against the system. So we have invented a solidarity fund where every foreign player has a fee. So if a big club wants to play with, for example, with 8 foreign players right now, so they can play with them, but they pay, let's say, tax. And we redistribute these taxes to smaller clubs that are playing with local under 21 guys. So now everybody is happy. So all 10 clubs are for this system. So because everybody can choose their strategy, how to develop. Bigger clubs that probably with some foreign investors coming in that are interested in developing international players, they're allowed to do so. And today Valmiera is on the first position. I think it's a great example of this. They have a lot of talents, young talents. This is one of the youngest teams in league, and they're fighting for their title, right? And for example, Meta, which is on the other edge of this system, they're playing with
No, we lost Maksim again.
Sorry, right now, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have, like, for example, Meta, right? Who is the number 1 youngest team in the world, playing in the top division. So and they receive the biggest part of this solidarity fund. So they are also happy. They can develop their system, and they can pursue their strategy. So this is the most important thing, to allow clubs with different strategies to work, operate, but we need to create. This is the whole question is about system. What system you implement, and this is how we then changed the system for 8-3. 8 foreign players and 3 Latvians should be on the field, and everybody is happy. And the football is developing. The investors bringing more money to the league, and of course, Without investment, without the money and care, you cannot grow anything. Not about the sports or football, just anything.
Okay, but I'll opposite you a bit. How Latvian football is seen from Estonia is that 20 years ago, well, a bit less than 20 years ago, you were at Euros, right? You were like top 16 football
Yes.
nation, and now you're playing a D division, okay, together with us, but still, how do you have like a short answer to my question? How that happened? What went wrong?
Yes.
What's the learning point?
Well, first of all, in my mind, in 2004, our management thought that we are on top and we will be always there. So it's the situation that it was a great platform for future success, but I believe due to poor management, it slightly was going down, and now it's obvious that we are at the lowest point since 2004, but not today. I would say today we're experiencing a turning point. The job that we did in Virsliga, the job that we are doing in the Football Federation right now, is a turning point. And I believe for the next 5 to 10 years, the results will only grow if we will pursue the strategy and we will bring more talented people. Because for every success, you need, first of all, people. This is a key asset that you need to have. The third thing, when you have key people.
Maxim, but by people, who you mean? Like, do you mean like hiring a lot of people, or do you mean like specialists? What do you mean by people?
Well, I mean that people that are doing that are qualified to do the job. So this is I guess the problem for our region, like a qualification of the staff and infrastructure. There are two things that we need to work on. Yes, I will not talk about like infrastructure right now because it's a different part. But what I see today, for example, in Latvia, how many managers like we have in clubs or in a sports structure with the highest education, sports education, with the knowledge of finance, knowing of marketing, or all these stuff. Because today football is business. It works like not only sports, it's entertainment industry, and as the big industry and a very complicated one, you need qualified personnel, qualified staff. So, and here we're lagging behind. So for the last 10 years, the Latvian Football Federation, I believe, that was managed by the people who, not all of them. I'm not saying like I'm saying that they were made decisions, wrong decisions, without. But I can also understand because decisions usually taken are on the range of I like it or I don't like it. So even today, we don't have a digital system inside the federation, or even in Virsliga, we are just in the process of building it. So we need to gather data. With the data, we can make analysis. We can understand why it's something working or why something is not working. What I've seen from the previous, let's say, decision makers making decisions about the youth system and so on, these kind of presentations, well, I would say they are low quality presentations. They are low quality analysis. This is truly my opinion. So when we now speak about the further system, how to work, I'm trying to make the analysis and to present my ideas using data and my experience already built during these 10 years by managing a club, managing a league, now being a part of a board member of European leagues, because these people around Europe, for example, the work in the European leagues, I was voted by 26 out of 28 leagues in Europe, starting from Premier League, La Liga, and others. And my competitor was the president of Eredivisie, the Dutch league. So how it was possible? So they saw how we do it with our limited resources, with what kind of people are working in the league, and where are we going. And they very respect that, because understand, with the limited resources, with the limited human resources, we are doing a very good job. And they want also to scale this among other leagues. And that's what I said to the Football Federation. People is the most important asset. People that have passion, that have knowledge, and they know where to go. The second thing is procedures. if you have right people, but they're doing a wrong job, this is a bad thing. This is a bad situation. You need to implement the right procedures, because sometimes people are doing, they're talented guys, but they're doing a wrong job. This is the second thing. And the third thing is technology. When you have good people, educated people, you have implemented right procedures with a good management, then you add technology and you have a result. What we think sometimes, like, technology will solve all our issues. Like we buy some technology, or we rent it, and this technology in some kind of miracle will solve all our questions. This is not happening, because people and procedures should be implemented at the first stage. So this is my opinion. Like, qualification, we need to work out. And today in Latvia, there is a single sports program like developed by people who are professionals of this industry. They are developed by academics, what I see, people from academic sphere, but not from the field, the people that did something and already showed the results. And we are also changing that. So now, for example, I'm working closely with the local university to develop the program. I'm bringing my experience and my knowledge to the program. And I said we should make it more practical. So I'm happy to share the knowledge with the younger generation, because I'm interested to bring more and more people, professionals, to the industry, so that they will work in the club, in the league, in the federation, and eventually move the industry forward. And the same we're doing with the basketball and ice hockey. So I'm going to these organizations, to this federation, and saying, because this is our biggest organizations for sports organization in Latvia, I tell them, let's work together. Let's develop educational programs. Let's build connection. Let's make more lobbying in the government, so to develop this industry. Because nothing happens in a miracle.
I understand that. This is valid point, and I suggest to move on to actual points. What are you doing with Virsliga? Like, how do you make it better for your fans? What are those actions? What you said that it has to be a product. It has to be like people want to watch it, right? They want to consume it. What are you doing? What is your Virsliga management doing to achieve that?
Well, first of all, fans. If you want the fans to follow your product, you need to tell them why. You need to make this storytelling about the teams, about the players, about the participants, and it is very complicated thing to do, because we are fighting, for the attention of the fans, and we are fighting not only with all these platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and all others. We are also in a competition with the Premier League and La Liga and Serie A and others. So it makes it very hard. But what these bigger leagues cannot provide to our clients is the consumption of football live at the stands. So now we are changing our attention to how we organize the games. For the first time, we always were thinking about it, but we didn't have financial resources to do that. So now we're speaking more about the fan experience at the stadium, how they perceive this game, how we organize these games, and we're trying to help the clubs. With, for example, on the 27th of May, we organized a top quality game, Riga Derby. So we created a brand for Riga's Derby, something similar like to El Clasico, for example. We were speaking about these games in 2 months. We created a logo for this derby. We tried to test our Virsliga team and to implement several procedures inside the game organization, which is not seen by the fans or by the supporters, because it's inside protocols, countdown to kickoff, Barrett, like arcs. We some things that are already seen by the fans. For example, LED screens, second screen at the stand, live statistics implemented, and we wanted to test our production team. So we produced this game with the 10 cameras, with a drone, with filming how the teams arrive, how they move. So the comments flash interviews before the game, after the game, super flash interview in the halftime. So completely different production. So we show
Simon, can you share I understand you made it super flashy, but can you share the results? Like, what was the audience on the stands? How many how many people were watching this game? It's interesting to know.
Yeah, we had the best attendance for this game in 18 years. It's 4,300 people were at the stand watching Virsliga game. So it's not like the best attendance in all time, but it's the, I believe, third result in Virsliga history. So, and this was we made just in 2 months. So in one. So now we are building the brand out of it. So we want to move on and to see how it works like in 3-5 years. And the most important thing that there is a conflict between these teams, right? So the rivalries, its most important conflict, it lies in the core of sports, or like getting a good product out of it. So we also trying to brand, we will see what kind of other teams we can brand and make these rivalries, so which bring a lot of interest from the audience. So this is one of the examples what we are doing. So of course we are operating also in a digital sphere. Between the games you need to interact with the fans, so we're trying to create as many platforms as possible for the fans to engage with Virsliga. For example, the easiest example is fantasy that we are having like right now for the 4th year, and we see a great positive feedback from the fans, because we filmed all the players, which was 4 years ago not the thing in the league. So yeah, it's some things are common sense, but still we didn't have them. So we produced the pictures of every player. We implemented the fantasy, so every fan that is playing fantasy, he can recognize, or she can recognize, the player on the field or in the broadcasting. So we managed to increase the awareness of our players and their statistics. So we signed the contract with the Instat and Wisecout to produce the whole statistics for the fans and for the clubs. So it's also interesting when you
This is something which Estonia is doing as well. I don't know about Instat, but at least we have fantasy as well, and it's quite popular here. Yes.
So 2,000 people is playing fantasy, which is a nice thing, and we have a nice presence for winners. Every round we have prizes for the winner from the teams. We have also a partnership with the Sportland, also giving prizes, and we have a final prize for the winner, trip to Champions League game, then PlayStation 5, and also a big prize from our partner Sportland. So this year the next year we are also, no, this is already happening this year. We have signed also a contract with La Liga. So for example, how we're trying to implement La Liga brand into the Virsliga. So the winner of this, for example, fantasy, will go to La Liga game and will experience La Liga game from the inside. He will see, or she will see, the whole production of the game. You can stand in the tunnel together with the teams. And now we are planning to do it with Sasuna, which also came to Riga last week. And we agreed that, for example, let's say it will be the game against like Real Madrid or Barcelona. So our people could experience completely different emotions and see the game from the inside on a completely different level. So through Virsliga, we're trying to engage fans, not only knowing about local football, but also to get the experience of international, like one of the best competitions in the world. So this is what we do. This is what we do with, for example, fantasy. Let's say Football Manager. It's a completely different story.
Maksim, I will interrupt you. We'll come back to Football Manager, but I'm just interested in this match day experience. You talked about Riga Derby, and I saw that successful. I think 4,000 is success for our region. But what about other games? If I go to a random game, I don't know, for example, like Daugavpils versus Valmiera, what will I experience there? What will be the ticket price? Will be there like food, drinks? Will be there some entertainment?
Yes.
Like I would like to know the, let's say, average level of fan experience.
So today the game production is on the club's side. So it depends on the club and their willingness to bring fans to the stands. So what we are trying to do, step by step, we want to centralize the game organization from the leagues, to have, for example, a common provider of food or like a beer to every game. So this is the path we want to go. But today, let's say it's very different. So the average price might be like five euros to the game. Some clubs, they're allowing to have like for free, which is of course not acceptable for me. I think that if we want to build a product, we need to have a price for this product, and we need to value it. But we're working. We're not making fast decisions. We're trying to understand how the league, first of all, can help to the clubs, how to organize the game, so the fans would be willing to pay for this. And almost at every stadium you may find catering, you may find drinks, and experience the game. So of course, when we start
is there something that Virsliga is demanding from clubs, like some minimum? I don't know, there should be like free toilets, at least 2 beers, at least 3 hot dogs, I don't know. Is there something like written on paper what should be in the game?
We have a commercial agreement with the clubs. There are some things that you mentioned in the commercial agreement. There are infrastructural regulations that are demanded by Football Federation, according, like, for example, toilets amount and this stuff. So this is put in a different regulation. But if we say on the commercial side, currently we are not so strict on what the clubs are putting in their games, what kind of like catering and the food and drink. So it depends on the team how they want to proceed and how they want to develop. So, but as we are not distributing revenues to the teams right now, we cannot be very demanding from them. I pursue the strategy when we earn more because of the centralization of rights, because these money that we are earning, they are possible only because the teams together centralized their rights and allowed us as the league to sell these rights, to get revenues and to improve the quality of the product we're producing live and at the stands. So we are pursuing the strategy. We see that in the next 3-4 years, our revenues will increase. And we try to use this money to help the clubs, to sell the tickets. I hear myself, so that's why it's a little bit disturbing. For example, to provide the centralized ticketing service. So the clubs will not think about ticketing. So the pricing, the cash machines at the stands, the people servicing, the league will do it. For example, clubs will not think about the catering, because we will have one partner for every city where will be standardized catering. So the people, if of course clubs are willing, because some clubs are doing it on their own, they have their partners, and we're happy, like if they will not participate in this centralized thing. So step by step, we will come up to the level of the game where the league will demand or will help the clubs to make this product at the stands more appealing to the fans.
Okay, I have. It was a good answer. Thank you. I will continue with other topics.
And the average, sorry, I haven't answered your question. Average attendance is difficult to say right now after the COVID, because before COVID it was 500, 550. So I believe now it's a higher number, because we see after COVID time, people they were missing the game and now they're returning back to the stands. I believe we're moving to 600, but the goal, of course, is up to 1,000, which is possible, but there are many factors should happen before.
Okay. Actually, before I ask next question, do you have a goal, like metrics? How many spectators do you want? What will happen if you won't reach the goal? And how do you is there people who are responsible for these kind of things?
We are not concentrating, exactly how many fans we want to bring. We want to improve, to understand our fans. This is the key goal. So today we are investing money in creating a digital ecosystem, Virsliga, where we can track and interact with our fans to understand what they like, what they don't like, to produce the content that they want and they like. And it will become naturally that people they're willing to interact with the league. They're willing to watch our games. They're willing to come to the stands. So I don't have a KPI, exact KPI. Also, in 2 years, we need to have 1,000 people at the stands. It will come naturally if we will produce quality. Because previously, as I told you, we want to make data-driven decisions. Previously, we did our decisions depending on our feelings, because I and my team were Virsliga fans. And generally, if we like the idea and we like Football Manager or Fantasy or any other product, well, there is high probability that other people will like it. High probability, not exactly, but high probability. But of course, it's not sustainable, these kind of decisions. So that's why we, for example, we signed with La Liga Tech. This is a company under La Liga management. We signed an agreement to make this, to develop the digital infrastructure for Virsliga in the next 4 years, where we will see all interactions with the fan. We will understand, so what Valmiera fans like, so what the kind of content, so we can offer them better pricing for the games or for the merchandise or any other experience. So we will understand the profile of every fan, and we can also work together with sponsors, because sponsors are why they're working with a sports organization, because of the audience and because of the emotions. So we need to retranslate these emotions in data, in numbers, and then to work already with a data-driven decision. So answering your question, I don't have these kind of things like, let's say we need 700 or 1,000. It will come naturally.
Okay, so I understand you don't have correct even you don't have the right tools right now to measure some numbers, but
yes,
do you have the understanding of who is a Latvian football fan, Virsliga fan, and the second question is, are there any like active fan organizations in Virsliga? Like, do clubs have singing fans on the stands, or it's rather just people coming and cheering for their team?
Yeah, I would say in general, our fans are not so expressive, let's say, at the stands, and we don't have. It's actually the process has started. We see that around our teams starting gathering a new generation of fans that are interested to come to the stands to sing, to support the team, to go for away games, and we see that our teams are starting raising this interest. It would be much more easier if we would have heritage clubs. So today, the longest living clubs in Virsliga, there are Meta and FK Spartaks, 10 years, which is not enough to build a solid fan base. If we would have Skonto, Metalurgs, Ventspils, with a huge history, with already developed structure, of course, it would be much more easier, and we believe this fan movement will be much stronger. So, for example, Lithuanian basketball, there are teams that are created in 1933, for example, yeah, or 1999, 93. So there are teams already with 20, 30, or even 80 years of history. And it helps a lot to monetize and to raise the interest from the fans when you have these heritage.
Maksim, I can say you that in Estonia there are some clubs also founded in like early 90s, but we still are lacking of spectators there.
But it's not only heritage. You need to make steps to monetize it, you know. So it's not like only, it's about storytelling and about how you interact with the fans. So today we're at the beginning. So actually we are speaking right now with Fan Supporters Europe. This is organization. This is like association of fans movement around Europe that actually helped to stop a Super League project. So everybody's saying that this is UEFA did or something. No, it's the fans did. They stopped this project. And I have a good friendship with a CEO of this organization, and I asked him whether he can come to Latvia and just start working with our fans organization, just to tell them how they can grow the audience, how can develop, how can to interact with their club, so how to organize performances during the before and after the game. So from the league perspective, I want to, and we have already started this process of thinking how we can allow our fans to express their emotions at the stands using, for example, like pyros. So we believe, I believe personally, that it is a nice thing. It makes the event like look like where people can go and express. They cannot do it within in the stands, for example, in basketball and ice hockey. In-house, they can do it only in football, but we need to make it safe, because safety is the most important reason. So if we can agree with the fans that they are, for example, buying this pyro in a licensed shops that are, for example, in France or in Germany, so they can write a project for a particular game that they want to make a performance. So we can, as a league and the club, prepare all the safety arrangements, let's say, and agree that they can do that, but for example, on their own responsibility, with 18 plus years and so on. So we started thinking how to organize this. So let people express their feelings and emotion, because I think it's a unique advantage of football. And some leagues already doing it. For example, we see it in Sweden, right, where there is a not on paper, but agreement with the fans that they can do this. And we see these nice pictures from Hammarby or other stadiums, and this is what people share on their social media, right? So we are at the very, very beginning of this process. And what is the most important, that we see that young people, they are willing to come to the stands. They have this interest. And of course, like projects, perfectly well, Yuri Zhigaev with his project, with the PPK, yeah. So this is a nice project that also bring attention to people. They are making their stand at the national team games. So against Andorra and Liechtenstein, we saw almost 6,000 people for every game. So this is a nice thing, and result is the best seller of the game. So if there is result, of course, the people will come for the next game and the next game. So there are several factors.
Maksim, it's good that you mentioned results, because that was my one of the action points. How like disappointing results of national team and maybe like disappointing results from clubs affect like Virsliga in general, affect the attendance, the numbers of attendance in Virsliga?
Definitely what influences, and if the national team results would be better, I believe the average attendance in Virsliga would be also much higher. So because we were doing some quite nice stuff in Virsliga with the teams, with the league providing new and the players are coming in. We see big transfers from Virsliga coming to abroad. So these things create a hype around the league. But then people go to the national team game and we're losing to Gibraltar or to any other team, and they say, no, we are not football nation. So we are ice hockey, or basketball nation. That's it. So of course it influences how the football is perceived. So this is the first thing, results. The second thing, that we today do not have players with a strong personal brands. For example, that we have in basketball, like Kristaps Porzingis. Like one person can influence the attendance of the national team game, right? So and when you come to Arena Riga, a nice venue, you can take the beer, you can take the hot dog, you sit in a nice chair and you watch Porzingis playing. So of course you will think that you are a basketball nation. It's completely understandable. But today we don't have Maris Verpakovsky. We have a good young generation. I believe one of them or two of them will reach a very high level and will help to grow football here.
Okay. Next quick question. Is Virsliga comparing itself to any other leagues?
No. We have a unique history. We're not comparing to each other. We just take the best practices from the biggest league. As I told you previously, so I have access to any single league around Europe, and I traveled a lot. So I've been to many leagues. I saw how they work. I always try to learn the best practices to understand how they work. I always call, talk, get the knowledge and experience, and then we try to implement some things in Virsliga that are applicable and that are scalable. So it's also important. I see many brilliant things in La Liga, right? But it's not impossible to implement them. So
what would you implement if you had all the resources? One thing from La Liga, what would you implement?
Well, I would. That's the difficult question, because I call La Liga, when I came for the first time to La Liga, I called them Disneyland, because for me it was like a Disneyland. I saw wow, and this cool thing, and this, wow, I wanted this in the league. But then when we finished, we were there with all my Virsliga team for 1 week. We had 12 workshops in every department with La Liga. And then when we finished, I told to La Liga representatives, so listen, you are not Disneyland, you are football NASA. You have everything so well developed. So for me, it's even difficult to choose which one, because I believe the combination of these factors, they influence how the league is perceived, and they're doing a great job, especially internationally right now, where they want to compete with the Premier League, and they're already very close to, but they're close to Premier League. They're very limited in the internal market, but they still have a big potential internationally. So it's difficult to answer. Of course, the production of the games, it's huge. These games, how they're produced from the inside. And we went to the game Getafe Granada, and we saw every camera angle. We saw every technology, match manager application. Like we saw I even don't know, the keep management applications. All these small things make the difference and improves how the teams perform, how they work, and eventually grow the industry. So, but we have our own plan. It's interesting also in our way how we do it, because nobody came to us and saying, Maksims, you are a nice guy, we will give you more money, please develop the league. No, we started in 2019 when our general sponsor said no to us, no for the prolongation of the contract. We didn't have office, we didn't have director of the league, we didn't have any documents stored in one single place. There was nothing. But I and my colleague, we sat down, we wrote on the whiteboard all the questions that we have. We tried to answer them. We developed the strategy. We asked questions, and we traveled a lot around Europe talking to the leagues. And I've been even to Japanese leagues. I invested myself to fly to Japanese league and to speak with them how they work, because I saw the many interesting things there. And then we developed the strategy and started to implement. And year by year, we saw the results, small steps, but this allows us to increase the revenues. The increase of revenues allows us to invest more in fan engagement, to create fantasy and football manager, and develop right now we're developing new webpage, completely different. You will never see this in sports or in football. It would be completely different, together with some designers well known internationally. So we increased the level of production. So at that time, all the games were filmed with 2 cameras. It's very difficult to sell 2-camera game. So now all the games minimum are filmed with 4 cameras every game, and we're producing 180 games. So this is a huge amount of money you need to invest just to jump from 2 cameras to 4 cameras. So these things, what we are doing, they eventually bring more attention, more revenues, and it's exciting journey, really exciting journey. So I cannot say I'm jealous about Bundesliga or La Liga. No, La Liga is working together right now with us. So they are here. I just drove a La Liga representative to the airport right now. So we're working together.
Maksim, that was probably the reason why internet was bad in the beginning, right? So you were in airport.
No. Right now I'm at home, but something doesn't work with my AirPods.
Okay, I got your point, and I have 3 more questions. Then those who are listening live can ask their questions. First question is: you have on opposite from Estonia, you have top teams from other cities as well. It's not only Riga oriented. Of course, you have 2 teams from Riga, but you have Valmiera, right? Liepaja. Any reason on any activity how you help that to push the football out of capital?
Well, it's not our work or our results that the teams are organized in different cities. No, it just became natural historically. So we have Valmiera, that's a very sport city with many champions in different sports. We have Liepaja also. It just happened that they have the team. But what we can do, and what is important, we want to make municipalities jealous. So if they have a Virsliga club in their town, so it would be a prestigious. That's why we need to work more with the clubs and in the fans, because politicians, they're thinking only about votes and elections. That's it. It's just simple. And if you can bring people to the stands, if they see the people in their cities like it, and this is a prestigious, that the level of production, the level of organization of these games is completely like cool and on a different level. And now especially it's a good moment because we don't have right now Dynamo Riga in hockey due to the warfare in Ukraine. So it disappeared. We don't have teams playing in the international basketball league. So today there is a vacuum for sports fans to support the teams, to go somewhere, to communicate, to drink beer, to express their emotions. So this is a good moment for Virsliga, and we need to provide this platform for the fans. So then municipalities will see, well, we see that, for example, in Valmiera, the people going, 1,000 people were on the first game at the new venue. And there was a mayor of the city, and he was so proud of it. And I like this emotion that he was sitting and he was enjoying the game. So I told him, listen, this is fantastic. Let's build the lights here for the stadium. And then we can have these UEFA club competition games here at the stadium. So this is important, to bring all stakeholders to the place, and together we can grow the league. And we have some crazy plans, but that also connects to you, like Estonian, Lithuanian leagues, but it will be in the future. So we need to still create a good platform in Virsliga, and then we will be ready to make a new step. So our geography will be even bigger.
Okay, very good. Next week question. Calendar. From this season, you have 10 teams and 36 rounds. Do you see this as an optimal solution? How do you, when you create a calendar, how much you try to, concentrate on fans' opinion, and how much is clubs, who is like winning this battle?
Well, it's a difficult question, because today the main factor, limiting factor, is still infrastructure. So not all stadiums have lighting. So we cannot, even if the fans want to play later in the evening, we cannot allow it. This is the primary thing. Of course, 36 rounds.
Just to specify, you mean that some stadiums don't have lights, right?
Yes, floodlights. There is no floodlights. We cannot play. So we need to finish the game 1 hour and a half before sunset. So and this is why sometimes there are the games that are started like 5:30, right? So which might be strange, right? But it happens because there are some limiting factors, and sometimes there are several factors engaged. So when we will be at the point when we have infrastructure that allows us to choose any time of the day where and how we want to play, then of course we will improve the calendar, because today it's not perfect. It's not perfect, and very hard to implement 36 rounds starting in March and ending in November. There is also, we are trying to help our clubs in the UEFA club competitions, so that we have better rating, because it also increased the UEFA solidarity money for our clubs, so it influences everybody. And so yeah, there is a lot of limiting factors today. But the calendar is also relates. I don't believe that 10 teams today is a good option, because we will see. I don't believe that it's possible to have in such a small market 10 teams in the long term. So we see that clubs still are not very sustainable. So every year, especially right now with the COVID, with everything that is happening in Europe, so inflation. And this put pressure on our clubs. So, and somebody might not survive in this situation, and it's absolutely normal, because we know that currently the sports industry in Baltics, it's not like a business where you make money. So if the owners of the team experiencing problems in their core business, the first thing that is influenced is entertainment, is their toys or their clubs, right? So I believe that.
But how many teams you see 8 teams is more optimal for you?
Yeah, I would say 8 teams is more optimal for Virsliga today, but there are also pluses and minuses. Today we have 10 wonderful teams around Latvia. So we have a good geography, and these small teams, they're also bringing their taste to Virsliga. But of course, we already saw this year 10-0 result. So what we don't want to see, like in the league, we want to have a better competitive balance. But because by the end of the day, you need to play with the stronger teams. You need to compete, because this raises the level of the competition. It raises the level of your players. It increases the price for your players, the value of your players. So, and of course, the fans like when there is ideally perfect competitive balance, where all 10 teams have the same chances of winning the competition. So this is where every league wants to be. But of course, it's not the case in any league. But the situation is better for us than for many competitions. We had 10 champions in the last 10, 12 years, right? So it's not 10 champions. We had 6 champions lately. So it's a good result. And of course, we want every year, so there would be a strong competition till the last round, till the last match day, the fight for the title. But of course, there is a huge question how to develop the sports. And I believe only centralization is the way if we want to develop the industry. And I'm talking Baltic League. That will eventually be my ultimate goal here, to create the strongest competition.
Maksim, wait. So you would love to see a Baltic League?
Yes, this is the only competition that can conceptually bring football on the next level. And I believe that if we remain with this status quo that we're having today, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania will never play in Euros and will never play in World Cup. For me, it's obvious. So if we want still to fight and we want to grow this industry, we need centralization. This is the only way how we can go to create a competition where RFS, Valmiera, Riga, or Sūduva, or Žalgiris, or Flora, I don't know, or Livadia will fight for relegation. Can you imagine this kind of competition? So today they're all fighting for the titles. They're fighting for the Champions League places and so on. But in this league, with a 6 million market, which is the same market as Denmark, right, and even bigger, and as Finland market, where there are completely different numbers on the business side. This is the first thing, that this is a completely different, market value of this competition. So, but this kind of competition will bring 2,000-3,000 on average to the games. Might, if the product is developed really, because we are far from this product. Let's be honest. So today we don't have correct or right infrastructure. So we don't have digital infrastructure. Even our leagues structures with the people and so on, we are a youngster. Like Virsliga was created in 2012. So we are still a schoolboy. But we are developing fast, and I believe in 5 years, it's possible. It will be possible, and it will be completely different level of the competition, completely different money involved, and the fans' experience. I already in my head there is this competition, and I'm already playing in it. So.
Okay, from the Baltic League, I have only one last question. It's not that positive, but we have had Baltic League experience previously, and it was full of fixed game scandals. And my question here is not connected actually to Baltic League, but there has been some fixed match scandals that reached to Estonian audience from Latvia. What is Virsliga doing to prevent this problem?
Yeah. First of all, this is the fantastic example how a great idea might be spoiled by poor management. This is the first thing. So, and this is also influence, and the more, this is the influence, this idea, what I'm telling you, but the more people say that, well, it will not work, the more I like it to prove to the people that it might work, and it will be very, very good one. So this is the first thing. The second thing, if you think that match fixing is related somehow to the nation or to the competition, it's wrong. It's related only to bad or good people, and in this case to bad people, and they're happening everywhere. Not only in Latvia, it is in Estonia, it might be in Lithuania, everywhere. It was 2 years ago, it was in Belgium with Anderlecht involved, the biggest club with the biggest competitions, where Eden Hazard played, where Witzel and Visan Company. So it's just to say Latvia or Estonia or any other, it's incorrect. So it's about bad people, and they can show up everywhere, even in La Liga. Several years ago, there was a scandal with the match fixing. What is more important, that we invest a lot of time and our energy in searching these potential problems. And if they happen, we solve them. Sometimes it's extremely harsh. Yes, it's tough. Like there was Ventspils, a team with a big heritage, football heritage, now started playing in third division with a completely different owners because it was their license was cancelled, and unfortunately it happened. But sometimes you need to act, and this is the most important thing. When we register something, we are not afraid to speak about it. We don't hide it. Like if you believe that in tennis or basketball and any other sports there is no match fixing, tennis is one of the dirtiest sports in the world. So, but we're not afraid to talk about this as first thing. And the second thing, we have instruments to tackle this, to report it and tackle it. And that's what we are doing. And this is the most important thing. It might happen everywhere. So I'm not afraid of that. This is only how we deal this. For example, what kind of regulations we implement to prevent this. So we had previously these problems. So now I think it's like a director's test. We have a good examples from Premier League, for bigger leagues, how to, through the regulation, to prevent these cases. But I wouldn't say, Virsliga or Estonian League or Lithuanian League or any other. It might happen everywhere. And it's actually happening. So this is a problem. La Liga is also, they are spending more than 100 million every year on tackling match fixing and pirating. So that would be my answer to this question. I'm not afraid of that. I'm just prepared to tackle it. And I believe the more like we investing in this industry and we're growing this industry, like with the Baltic League. So it's already completely different league with a different production. And the clubs already from these league, they need to have revenues. You cannot it's impossible to make this competition without giving funds to the clubs. So they would be already interested. They don't need to play, to interact with these people that are organizing the games, because they have value already in the league to be part of the league, because the league will send the money to the clubs. Because with playing in this league, the value of these players will be 3-4 times higher, because these leagues will create match day revenues, which is not seen today in any Baltic club. There is no match revenue. It's either 1% or less from the budget of the clubs. So this is completely different level. And as I told you, we are ready to tackle all these issues inside. And this year, it's a fantastic year for Virsliga. There is no any case registered. So we see that the clubs, every club has their strategies. Some are lagging behind, some are doing a good job, but everything is working, and I'm satisfied how it is today.
All right, Maksim. Actually, it was really, really nice to see you on our channel. Nice to see you in our podcast. For those who are listening live, I think we have some time to answer those questions. For those who are listening, it's on YouTube. It will be happening probably somewhere in July. Thank you for listening. We'll definitely subscribe. And I think, Maksim, you can promise that you will join us some other time as well, right?
Definitely. I'm really happy to, and thank you for hosting me. I always it's a pleasure to talk about the football industry, and I believe only working together and speaking and doing stuff together, we can grow this industry, and we have a great potential. Believe me.
Thank you very much. This recorded episode part has been ended. It was Maksims Krivunecs, the manager of Virsliga. See you next time.